Hello everyone, Nev here. And I'm starting a little bit of a new series here where I'm kind of doing a deep dive of the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. And I do have the original version, which is smaller. It's a quite mini size here. The deluxe version is much larger, and I think a lot of people have that one, but I prefer the mini. So I have these cards all in order here, and I don't exactly have a clear-cut plan on how I want to do this series. I just kind of going with the flow, but right before this video started, I put all the cards in order so that we can kind of go through them, and I kind of figured my first video on this would be a little bit boring, but it might be of interest to some people. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to go through and give my instinctive keywords for each card. So there's 88 cards in this deck. That's going to be the majority of this video. So it's probably going to be a little boring, but hopefully it's of some interest to some people out there. Now, it does come with a guidebook here. Well, a guidebook. It's a piece of paper that's folded up. And there are suggested interpretations for each of the cards. And I have, like, some of them make sense to me and some of them don't. So, and that's actually why I'm doing this. And what's also cool about this deck is that it's kind of encouraged that you come up with your own meanings. But these are just kind of suggested meanings. So I still keep this with my deck, but long term, I plan to just put this away in storage somewhere and just have my deck of cards here. So before I start flipping through the cards, I just want to say that I use this deck like it's a Lenormand. And what I mean by that is I read this deck in a tableau style. So I do like the 9 card box like that, and I'm trying to keep them in order, so you are seeing them in order here. So I will often read these in a 9 card box. The other layout that I do is like a 5 by 3 plus 3 at the bottom. I mean, I have this zoomed in quite a bit, but basically 3 rows of 5, and then underneath a row of 3 in the middle. And that's basically a very small version of the Grand Tableau of the Lenormand, which is 36 cards, and typically it's a 8 by 4 plus 4 at the bottom. But because there are so many cards in this deck, there's 88, doing something that's very specifically designed for Lenormand doesn't necessarily make sense for me, except if I'm going to use Lenormand houses. In that case, I will use the 36 card. But I enjoy that smaller spread, and that is an 18 card like little mini tableau that I do like to do with this deck. And I think going over the kinds of spreads that I use with this deck will probably be for a later video. And if you want to know more about tableau style reading, including using houses, I do have a series on my channel. I think there's 3 videos out so far. I plan to release them as I come up with ideas for that series. So every few months or so. I hope to have another tableau style video maybe next month. We'll see. But if you're interested in learning about tableau style reading, definitely go check out the videos that I have on that subject. So I am going to put these back in the pile, and we're going to just go through the cards, and I am going to give my instinctive keywords for each of the cards. Now, I will also say that there are some cards in this that are called the same thing as they are in Lenormand, and I intend to use them as if with the same sort of meaning as a Lenormand reading. And I've considered pulling out like all of the cards that are as closely related to the Lenormand counterparts as possible, and basically having pulling out 36 cards. Some of them are the exact same name, like tree is in here, book is in here, etc. But some of them, like there's a cat one in here that could be used for dog in Lenormand. Lonormand, same sort of deal. So that's a possibility. That's perhaps something for a future video, but let's get started. All right, so fetus, of course, new beginnings, inexperience, pregnancy, children, dependency, beginner, novice. Time, pressure, deadlines, moving forward, patience, fate could be a good keyword for this. Now here, the next 4 cards are people cards, so I'm going to lay them out. We have hag, girl, boy, and devil. So all of these could be used as significators. The hag could be an older person, usually female. Same with the devil. It could also be an old man, or male presenting, female presenting, male presenting. Both of these could be an antagonistic person. This could be a witch. This could technically be a witch too. These also could represent deities if you're doing a spiritual reading. This could represent, well, any female deity, and this could represent any male deity, etc. And of course, I'm using genders here, but you don't necessarily have to, etc. So this could be the Kalyak or Anbaiv. And this could be any sort of male deity or a demon. So girl and boy, a female presenting significator, and a male presenting significator. All right, so let me put those in that pile, and we'll go on to the next one. All right, so tooth. Let's see, losing something considered permanent, or a semi-permanent thing or situation. We could associate this with health, so illness, something that needs maintenance, speaking, or issues involving teeth or mouth, of course. I do apologize. I'm over a cold, but I still have a little bit of a cough left, so I'm going to pause every time I get a little bit of a tickle in my throat. All right, so blood, it could be literal blood, menstruation. It could also indicate heritage, ancestry, blood relations, health in general, vitality. So ear, gossip, hearing, listening, ear, nose, throat health. Inactive or passive, so like listening instead of speaking. Something that's receptive. This is receiving. So that is an indication for that. So eye, let's see, watching, viewing, eye health, bearing witness. It could be an evil eye, especially connected to other cards. Reading, seeing is believing, vigilance. So we have heart, so I would connect this with the heart in Lenormand as well. So love, emotional feelings, affection, compassion. Hand, we have something that's active instead of inactive. Hands-on, a helping hand. Friendship, palmistry, if we're talking about divination here. Usefulness, handiness. Skull, thoughts, excuse me. Thoughts, intelligence, intellectualism, death even, or mortality. We could associate with that as well. Moon, so moon in Lenormand as well. So cycles, also menstruation, deep, potentially dark emotions, lunar astrology, or astrology in general. But any of the celestial bodies in this deck could be associated with astrology. So reputation, and that is how I read the moon in Lenormand. It's like reputation, inner or hidden feelings, mystery. Okay, sun, again, sun in Lenormand, so true happiness, illuminations, things being uncovered and shining a light on things, clarity, the literal sun, summer, a sunny day. This could also be night for the moon. So yeah, those day, night, storm, danger, weather, troubled situations, a literal stormy weather. Let me move this up a little bit. Okay, fire. Yeah, fire, passion, creativity, inspiration, something that can get out of hand really quickly if not tended to. Rage, fire festivals like the Sabbats of fire festivals. The fire as in the magical element, so fire element. Cleansing, yeah. Okay, so water, again, similar. Purity, subconscious, cleansing, flowing, crying. Water as in the element, drinking, or, or neutral drinking. Not necessarily drinking alcohol or water, but just drinking in general. Urine, you could connect it with urine, so there we go. Let's see, dagger. We have, I would connect this with like maybe the scythe in Lenormand. So deceit, betrayal, backstabbing, aggression. It could be a ritual dagger. Danger, speed, clear cut or cutting off. It could be indicating surgery, and general cutting. So boot, so preparing for action. I'm thinking of lacing up the boot. So travel, moving forward, taking the first steps on something. Discipline, let's see, pulling yourself up by bootstraps, that saying, taking action in general, boots on the ground. Yeah, so it could be literal walking, but travel is a good one for this as well, and moving forward. And it's an active card. Also a card of preparation. All right, so key. Let's see. So key in Lenormand, key to happiness. This is a significator for lost objects. Freedom, resolving a mystery. Yeah, so pretty good ones for that. So cat, I would potentially connect this with dog in Lenormand. But with cat specifically, we have independence, magic, and witchcraft. It can indicate pets in general. Let's see, agility, adaptability, secrets, protection, deities associated with cats. Yeah, various deities associated with cats. In regards to dog in Lenormand, I might think of this as loyalty and friendship, perhaps. Yeah, and that's the tricky part of connecting this with dog in Lenormand, because cats are, very different than dog. So I'm not sure if that totally fits. There may be a different card in this deck that maybe fits a little bit better. So let's see, next one, flower. Okay, so I might connect this with bouquet in Lenormand. Romance, beauty, gifts, blooming or blossoming, growing up. Being in one's prime, perhaps, just general beauty, yeah, and more of a romantic kind of love or feelings, perhaps, and it could also represent literal flowers. So mirror, so self-reflection, scrying, let's see, copying or mirroring someone, vanity, the black mirror of technology, something like that, that especially considering what it's next to in a reading, it could indicate something like that. All right, so stick in the mud, bluntness, branching out. Yeah, I think that's pretty good for that. Also, skinny. I might put skinny for this. Yeah, or sharp even. Well, no, not sharp, because blunt makes more sense for stick. Yeah, because dagger's more sharp, stick is more blunt. So, yeah, so stick in the mud, bluntness, branching out. Yeah. All right. Puppet, so control, especially through magic. And I have in some readings, I have very specifically used this to represent magic. In readings that I've done, it's like magic that's using a target or using someone as a focus in the spell. So I have used it for something like that before. So it could also represent manipulation, gaslighting, brainwashing. So a lot of stuff like that, or just general control. Something that's fashioned, put together. Okay, so wall, blocked, obstacle, boundaries. I think that's pretty straightforward. Excuse me there. So house in Lenormand. The home, a small building, something that's intimate, family, stability, your safe place, where you feel at home at. All right, so moth. I have very specifically used moth to represent servitors, but moth is uncontrollable attraction, being drawn to something potentially dangerous, instinct, transformation, blindly following something. Or you could also use it to represent servitors. All right, or winged things in general. Wheel. Okay, so movement, transportation, cycles, again, similar to the moon there. Wheel of the year, progress, travel, coming full circle, things just going as they're going. A general cycle of things. Things that are inevitable, because it's just going to keep going. Things that roll smoothly. Let's see. So tree. Tree in Lenormand. It could represent roots, family, and, legacy. Health, immovable, slow growth, long lasting, stuck in a situation, stability. Okay, let's see, ladder, achievements through hard work, stepping up, taking an active approach, overcoming obstacles, climbing up that corporate ladder or the ladder, it could be a progress in work or whatever endeavor you're doing and climbing that ladder, etc. Okay, so door, let's see, opportunity, things knocking at the door, a new stage of life, choices, liminal places. That could be a good one for spiritual readings. It could really represent opening the door to other realms, etc. Okay, factory. So this feels more like the tower in Lenormand. Literal factories. It could also be official workplaces, official places, hard work. It's just pollution. It could indicate environmental concerns. And also it's like it could represent economic growth, perhaps, things like that, or production, producing things. There we go. All right, so rat. This is, I would connect with probably mice in Lenormand. So a trader, mice in Lenormand, so things being decreased. It could indicate illness or disease, eating away at things, or an infestation of something. It could indicate small animals or insects, etc. General infestation. Though I feel like, because I think the last card is the scarab, so that could also indicate like insects and things like that. But trader, disease, illness, eating away at things. That sounds about right. Snake, so snake in Lenormand, trickery, temptation. This also is a bit of a traitor kind of card. It could indicate the other woman or the other man, an antagonist. So if some of those significator cards, if we had snake next to it, I might read it more in that sense. So let's see, shedding old habits, outdated ideas. Let's see, pentacle, we have spirituality, protection, magic, manifestation. We have the earth element here, because I don't think we have earth in this deck. We have fire and water. I don't think we have specifically earth and air, so this could represent the earth element in that regard. So it could also represent money, material wealth, and abundance. Let's see, bell, so getting attention, calling or ringing someone, communication. calling upon spiritual guides or spirit communication in general, an awakening, a warning, cleansing, using sound as cleansing, things like that. But yeah, but more mundanely, just a general getting attention and calling attention to something. All right, so, or something loud even. So broom, and I would connect this with broom / whip in Lenormand. So repeated actions, repetition, chores, clearing or cleaning. So broom, whip, and Lenormand. I might also connect this with Ogham, like because some of these cards I'm connecting with different divinatory practices. So I might connect these broom with Ogham. So witchcraft in general, of course, broom. Organizing, domesticity. All right, next up we have chalice. So it could also be the water element, of course. But I would see this as more like celebration, ceremonies, drinking. I might see this one where we had water is drinking more neutral. This could be drinking in the alcohol sense, perhaps, or taking libations, things like that. Goddess energy, menstruation again, dreams, offerings, emotions, intuition, receptive. This is a receptive card. All right, we have fish. So abundance, I'm connecting it with fish and Lenormand. Plenty. I might also think of it as like suspicion, like fishiness. If something seems fishy here, something seems sus. You know, we could go that route with it if we're going something slightly negative, but ultimately I would see this as, in general, perhaps a positive card. And in fact, maybe the next video I will go through and separate what makes the most sense for positive, negative, and neutral cards. But so in general, I would probably see fish as something that's positive. And it could also represent deities associated with the sea, or, you know, like Menanon. Yeah, so there we go. So cauldron. So mixing, combining, cooking. I would potentially connect this with Ondagda. And that's my, you know, because I follow more Irish paganism, so that's why I connect things with Irish deities here. And so I could also think of fertility, the womb, creation. But yeah, in general, mixing, combining, that sounds about right for that. Or buculum, so a crystal ball, basically. So I might see this as just general divination, mysticism, scrying, clarity, insight, searching, reflections. Insight, or just kind of a general instinct, a knowing something. Let's see. So octopus. Okay. Octopus, multitasking, covert intelligence, because I think about how intelligent octopuses are. And so there's a sort of covert intelligence, flexibility, or entanglement, things getting all entangled. That could be a good one for octopus here. Poison. So a toxic situation, self-destruction. Here we could definitely be talking about alcohol or drugs. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So umbrella. Protection, covering, sanctuary, hierarchy. A hierarchy of an umbrella is often used in symbols for a hierarchy, so we could see it like that. Yeah, I think that works for that. Candle, so a light in the darkness, so hope. It could be candle magic. Focus, something that's we're focusing on. So energy, illumination. And it's more active versus the sun, which I feel like is more passive. Like it's something that's just already there, whereas the candle is something you light yourself. So it is intentional. All right, so next up is trumpet. Okay, so loud, an advertisement, obnoxious, unasked for information, trumpeting over someone, like, you know, being the loud voice in the room, or a, you know, something similar to bell. It's like attention grabbing. Yeah, okay. So then we have crow. And I might attach this to perhaps one of the cards having to do with birds in Lenormand, maybe the birds card. But I also would attach this to on Morrigan, so mystery and magic, hoarding, trinkets, wisdom, messages and omens. Now, I do believe this book has crow indicating something more negative. Let's see. Where was crow in this? So crow, they had as omen of bad news, moving from place to place, criminal activity. I don't see it like that at all. So I vehemently disagree with that. So I'm glad I'm doing something like this where I can kind of, crows don't indicate that to me at all. Crows are something that's much more omens, yes, but not necessarily negative ones. It could be a negative one. It's kind of neutral in that aspect, but yeah, I would mostly associate it with on Morrigan, of course, but in general, hoarding, trinkets. Crows are also super smart, so there's a little bit of that covert intelligence there. All right, coin, money. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to cough. So money and opportunity, resources, wealth, materialism in general. Yeah. It could be a business. And I am losing my pile here. Let me move this off to the side a little bit. There. Okay, so spider. Perseverance, patience, attention to detail. Let's see. Feminine energy. Spiders are often associated with feminine energy, and also it could be a negative, a sort of negative feminine energy in a way. It could be positive. It could be negative, like I think of a black widow, you know, and that sort of eats their mate, but but that's done out of instinctiveness, out of survival. So there is that sort of survival energy to a spider, and general, like designing the spider web. So designing something. Intricate could be a good one for this too. All right, so Ankh, I would connect this with cross in Lenormand. So in that sense, it could represent obligations, burden, power or burden of power, religion, etc. It could also represent high magic, so beyond like folk magic and low magic. It could also indicate more ritualistic or magic in that has a hierarchy to it, etc. Or a history. History could be a good one for that too. Let's see. Iceberg. So an unexpected obstacle or something more than it seems. More than something seems. It could be cold. So a general cold energy. Slow progress or something that's building underneath. Yeah. All right. So B. Community, industry, industry and productivity. That's a little bit similar to factory there, but maybe B is a bit more positive. Busyness instead of business, but busyness. Cooperation, sweetness. Perhaps the goddess Bridget I would connect with B. Now the saint Bridget is more connected to bees rather than the goddess, but if I'm going to connect, Bridget with one of these cards, I would probably pick the B. Okay, so pipe. So let's see, pipe. So older people, especially men, but not necessarily. A comfort, a fatherly energy, smoking, incense. Incense could be represented here. Relaxation. Yeah, something, a vice maybe, perhaps. I don't know. That seems like a strong word for pipe. Pipe for me feels more comforting. There's something more comforting with pipe. All right, so axe, aggression, chopping off, cutting to size, ungraceful, because it's like a hack job, you know. That makes sense for axe. Frog. Now, I actually, this card showed up, well, actually it was from a different deck, but frog in general, this is a personal thing, but I would often associate that with my Mima who passed away. So in my ancestor work, when the frog shows up, that's my indication that Mima's there. So that's a personal connection. But so in general, we could say leaping to conclusions, transformation, positive evolution. So this could be similar to Stork there. Let's see. Connection between worlds, because like frogs being from both water and earth, so there could be a connection of worlds there, and not just metaphorically, but literally, it could be connection between our realm and the spiritual realm, etc. Like a gateway sort of card, or traveling between worlds. Perhaps connected to the Stork card, perhaps. Yeah, because I'm thinking about the positive evolution on that, or growing up maybe, and changing from childhood. All right, so Saturn. This is the only like planet card we have, unless you count the sun and moon, but Saturn is the only planet card we have in this. So I would just connect this with general astrology, but Saturn, I would also give a male energy, perhaps. So I'm thinking like the Emperor card. So kind of an authority, time and patience, structured discipline, remote, like on another planet. Ooh, I am having to pause a bit because all the extended talking is hurting my throat a bit. So ribbon, this could also be connected with bouquet. So there's a bit of a, which one makes the most sense for connecting to bouquet, even if I start connecting all the cards to Lenormand, which I'm not sure that I want to do, but you know, so gifts, putting a pretty ribbon on something, beauty, appearances, like, like I said, putting a bow on something, covering up something that maybe, putting lipstick on a pig, that kind of thing. So putting a bow on it, neat, wrapped up nicely. So, stump, let's see, so stuck, something being cut short, arrested development. That's a pretty good one for stump. It's kind of like that stick in the mud cards, kind of similar to stick, but a stick you can still move around. A stump is really stuck in place, and it's that tree that's cut off. So it is things are really being cut short here, and I kind of like arrested development for that. That makes sense. All right, so foot. This is a bit different than the boot, I think. So it still, to me, represents movement, being grounded, sensations, because now you're actually feeling the earth underneath you. A weakness, like the Achilles heel. So this could be a weakness, or it could be balance, like trying to balance on one foot. So there we could have that element to this. Oh, I'm sorry about the coughing there. I tried to pause first, but I that one snuck through. So pitchfork. So attacking, overreaction, a mob mentality, rebellion, an uprising. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, so lighthouse, guidance, a clear sign, a beacon, navigation, weathering a storm. Hope after a long journey of some sort. Arrow, point in the right direction. Cupid's arrow, sending messages, a clear sign of where to go, connection through long distance. Because I'm thinking of Monty Python when they put the message on the arrow and there's like, fring, message for you, sir. so connection through long distance. That could be one of them. All right, so dove. This could be stork. I think I kind of like frog more for stork, but so peace, harmony, good health, kindness, friendship. So maybe this one's more dog. Maybe this one actually makes more sense for dog. Actually, now that I think about it, So in general, just those trustworthy vibes are making peace. Antidote. So we had poison before. We have antidote here. So relief, remedy, cure, situations being resolved. We could consider it rehab, a rehabilitation. Yeah, so there we go. Star. So again, we could have general astrology here, but star in Lenormand, or star in tarot. So hope, guiding light, destination. In Lenormand, I often use star to represent the internet or electricity or inspiration. So that I would also use for this one as well. Shovel, digging deep or maybe too deep, unearthing something, uncovering hidden truths, hard work or manual labor. I think that works for that. Harp. So I would in general connect this to Irish paganism because it's a harp. But so Irish paganism and culture, that could be something I use to represent this, is represented by this card. Rejuvenation, music and poetry, art, feelings deep in one's soul. Expression. Let's see. Bone. So bare bones, basic structure of a situation. The color white. It could be ancestry, hardness, sturdiness. Could also represent bone health in general. Yeah, there we go, if we're being literal with it. So feather, was the air element card that I was thinking about. So lightness, a subtle message. Yeah, floating along, a natural shedding of things. Owl, wisdom, night owl, awareness, deities associated with owls, observation, keen eyes. Diamond. So I would associate this with ring in Lenormand. So we've got commitment, wealth, materialism, beauty from roughness, enduring love, marriage, clarity or purity, strength, and crystals in general. Hat. Now, it is a witch's hat here, but it's just a general hat. So it could represent witchcraft or the cone of power there. But versatility, different hats for different jobs. Identity, roles in life, the hat we put on. Covering something, maybe. Herb. I would connect this with clover. So so in that sense, things like luck, small blessings, but in general, I could also use this to represent medicine. Antidote could also be medicine. I don't know if I said that. Healing, marijuana, drugs, tobacco, herbal drugs, herbalism in general. Shell, so beauty, the sea. Or here's this could, I said this with fish, but this could also be Menanon, the Irish god, or other sea deities. Aphrodite, if you follow Aphrodite. Let's see, a hard shell to crack, physical protection, sheltered. Let's see. Comet. So a sudden shakeup, a burst of strong emotion, especially anger, destruction, judgment from the gods. A bad omen, because the crow card I could see as an omen, and this would be a more of a negative omen. It's kind of similar to the tower in not in Lenormand, but in tarot. So a bad omen, war, catastrophe. All right, so shield, protection, defensiveness, blocking, shielding oneself, which I feel like is more self-inflicted than, say, like the shell, which was also kind of a sheltering of sorts. Shielding oneself, boundaries. This would be a good one for boundaries. Scourge. Now, we had the broom earlier. And so this is where it doesn't quite, even though we have some cards that are pretty similar to Lenormand and some that you can stretch to connect with Lenormand. Broom and whip both are different names for the whip/broom card in Lenormand. And this I would associate more specifically with the whip side of Lenormand versus the broom, which has more to do with because this still has that repetition, but this I feel like it's much more negative than the broom card in here. Like the broom to me is more I don't want to say positive, it's more of a neutral card, whereas this one is much more negative. So it could be general sexuality and kink, which is not necessarily wrong. Neither is like BDSM. That could be this as well. Pain, repetitive damage, perhaps. Punishment, brutality, shame, subjugation. Again, these things are not necessarily negative, but like this feels more, I guess, risky would be the better term instead of negative, but like this feels more risky than, say, the broom card. So I don't know, it's kind of got that a similar vibe to the the whip in Lenormand, but you know, yeah, anyway. So yeah, that sort of energy: shame, punishment, brutality, repetitive damage, or saying things that are not necessarily negative, like sexuality, kink. It could be negative sexuality. So there we go. All right, mushroom. So this could also be drugs, but altered states of consciousness is more what I'm talking about here, or under the influence. A large network or networking, more under the surface, so similar to iceberg there. More positive, yeah, more positive though than iceberg. Because iceberg is a bit more, has a bit more of a negative connotation, whereas mushroom is more neutral. Maybe even positive. I'm not sure. You know. All right. So rope. So tied up. It's kind of similar to octopus there in that there's a certain entanglement going on here. So tied up physically or metaphorically. A bonding things together. Bound to something. Not magic. Roping in. So forced compliance. There's other things I could probably think of with that. So, book. So book in Lenormand. So secrets, knowledge, revealing truth, facts, learning, studying, school, intellect, doing things by the book. Wish. Wishes and desires, success, desired outcome, pipe dreams. Let's see. Grand visions, optimism. Dragon. Now, I might associate this with Welsh witchcraft or magic, Welsh mythology, because of the dragon there. But it could represent strength, power, courage, a guardian. It could be a magical guardian, or it could represent magical entities in general. So just beings from other realms of existence. So breathing fire, so like strong words, or even bad breath. All right, sage. Sage I would connect with perhaps Lily in Lenormand. So cleansing, purification, environmentalism, spiritual growth, clarity, mental acuity. Let's see, what else? Longevity maybe, older people, morality maybe. I'm thinking of associations with the Lily card there. Virtue, prudence, humility. Now, the acorn card, I would associate with child in Lenormand. So, inexperience, but potential, the very beginnings of things, offspring, descendants, lack of knowledge or ignorance, possibilities. Volcano, eruption, bubbling to the surface, anger, temper, massive release, something long overdue, finally happening. Let's see. Something bubbling under the surface and exploding, like, you know. So that's almost the tower in tarot, you know. There's a couple of cards that I could associate with that. Scarab. This is the final card, which is good because my throat's hurting. So renewal, transformation, regeneration, something permanent, because I'm thinking about beetles that survive nuclear blasts, you know, bugs, pests, infestations, ancient energies, good luck and fortune. All right, so, oh man, my throat. That was just kind of a quick go through of all the cards and kind of an initial feeling of what it means to me. So I will cut this short now because my throat is killing me. Hopefully this was of some interest to you, and I hope to kind of expand on this in future videos for the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!